The photographic print was the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the presser was killed? Oh yeah, yes, come on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Oh. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice exactly what, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. And then take a good look at the steak. In particular, the edge where it's been eaten. That's teeth marks. Yeah, that's definitely teeth marks. I can see there's clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. The British are known for their great teeth. Looks like Miss Brett realized something. So, if the witness actually claims wouldn't contemplate eating anything without a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't... She was trying to help. He was trying to help. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. Oh god, you were the worst. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. It can, it will. Of course. This will be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything... You're routinely respectable samurai relic. What? Of course. Dear lady! Miss Brett, have you ruffled your feathers? Clearly the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implications of these teeth marks in the steak would have for her. Rinesco, do you know where you're going with this? Now at last it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had all allegedly been eaten with the cutlery. The blood on the plate. Yeah, the reason why the blood stain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. She licked it. And the most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tell us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these are barbaric teeth marks in the steak here. The amount of conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of that phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? It's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that evidence does not exist. This is absurd. The trial's run several hours already and you say there's evidence to be brought forward? This can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well, I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense. Oh, wow. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Okay, so, again, I think since this is the first trial, we can definitely do process of elimination. It's someone who's in this very court right now. So you're not in the court anymore. I don't think they're in the court anymore. I don't know if they're still on the witness stand. Jezebel Brett is definitely not like someone who's going to bring forth the evidence and not willing to do it. Mikutaba is 16 years old. We know this now. We know that to make appropriate comments about her at any case, and I know when she's having any like conversations with people, you know when to be appropriate as well. 29. Yeah, it's only one person it could be, right?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. Inspector Hosonaga. Is it obvious? Yeah, I guess. Oh, they are still on the witness stand. Okay, but I don't think it's them. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? You've been hiding evidence all the time. That's ridiculous. Wait. The blood? No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes? Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing the Kuraketa-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under? In fact, your own steak, so we swapped the steaks? Or they swapped them? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough as a foreign gentlelady if she'd mind manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That place was taken from the victim's table. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Sure you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. You did switch the plates. Well, after it happened, the, bang. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced that it was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, then that'd be... Oh my god, he'd be even getting his marking yet, he'd think he'd be fired, and he needs his job for baby Ido. So when the cadet was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There is no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you, so yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable. Ido, what do you think about this? However, you're not prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass button of my uniform. That is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant. Yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot to do. So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said you'd not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That's to preserve evidence you had taken both? That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. Here we go. Here we go. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? I can't have the slightest bearing on this case. No, you're not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. Lady's such a cool insult if you use it right. Because lady's not inherently an insult. But if you go, lady, It's brilliant, right? Huh, lady? Oh, the music's so good! Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was confirm something for the defendant to remember seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure what I saw, Miss Brett. It's so good. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memories serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you're reading from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plates that were originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Wipe the... Oh, I hate when he does. He wipes his face with the towel. Yes, sir. I'll hide the evidence for you. No, don't hide it. There it is, the blood splatter. This is the worst cop I've ever seen in my life. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak and its plate. And look, it's cut perfectly. Please feel free to examine it. We don't need to examine it. Look at it, it's perfect. It's perfectly cut. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look. I would say also, like, eat some veggies as well, like, because you're going to be, like, clogged up if you're only eating steak at a restaurant when you go there. Eat some veggies, too. Eat some veggies. Some brown carbs might be good for you as well. You know, some whole wheat might be good for you. Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see from the other side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Nuda-san to shot the victim. Oh, this is so sick. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson. I've missed this so much, this feeling that you get in Ace Attorney games. Because even in, like, because the problem is in Danganronpa, I love Danganronpa, it's a freaking 10 out of 10. But the problem is sometimes is that, like, you don't get this feeling because what generally happens in Danganronpa is that you know someone's gonna freaking die. You know someone's gonna die, so it doesn't feel as good. This feels so good. Maybe someone actually might die because of the death penalty, but I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. I disagree with the death penalty. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, the swan died. Outdone. By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No. Oh god, she's a Pokemon on her hat. Oh my god. Wait, it's laying chicks. I've never seen a breakdown like this in my life. Oh, there's a black one. What the hell? What? What has happened? Please excuse my little... That's not a little outburst. You nearly flew to heaven. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Oh, sorry. I was not myself for a second. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you tell the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Let's see those eyes as well. Glad, Your Excellency. Let's see those eyes. We did it. It was I who took the professor's life using Korea. As you surmise, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. Did you plan to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water? Because career is unheard of here in Japan? Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only need to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it will be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though I had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened... So we were the unexpected visitor. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in a chair such as that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Woodson's murder on the innocent man? I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt? She said skirt. That's a woman clothes thing. Well, it's not actually a woman's clothes thing, it's just a piece of clothing. So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. A place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point, the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Nosa was the culprit and apprehended him, and then I messed with the whole evidence. It made me feel so good! I took all the evidence and hid it. I took him to the pantry that adorns the kitchen and locked him inside. Then, I started messing with the evidence. Oh, it felt great. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Woodson before he picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Misdemeanor? Murder-meanor, more like it. Your Excellency. Yes? I wonder, might I speak with you in private later? That's not how this works. I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruto-san. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. Her saying, I hope we can forgive you, like, I have to imagine is just disingenuous, you know what I mean? But I also think that, like, she didn't mean anything personally behind this. And I'm not trying to, by the way, someone's gonna see this as a defense. It's like, I'm just saying, like, just logically, we were just randomly in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all I think it was. This can't be. Takasushi Ouchie does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You were just fodder. You better start getting used to it. You're actually the toughest pain we've ever had, though. Ryunosuke Naruto. Yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name. I will never be forgotten. Oh, this is him saying he's gonna get us through time and space. You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. Kazuma just literally shouted, Earth belongs to the young, you fart. It's the way of the world. He's gonna cut him down. May you never forget that. Cut him down! He's gonna kill him! Oh my god. That's assault. Okay? You can't do that either. That's assault. Don't be attacking people, okay? 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruto clan. So we just say that, like, the Wright family is, like, maybe descendants of the Naruto family? Well, I believe go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned to the accused, Yorinosuke Naruto presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it only has been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world, but the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. It feels sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new feature of law awaits, but what will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asagage. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. I love that he acknowledges that this trial was kind of like busted in some cases, and he's kind of like, look, this is the new beginning. We can start from here. We learned a lot in this trial. We're still very young. Let's keep going. Not that any court system is really great now, but there is an effort to learn here at least. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruto. Oh, yes? In you I sense, how can I put it? Unusual potential. Just like Phoenix. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh, wow, close-up shot. It's time to deliver the final verdict, so we're getting not guilty here. I hereby find defendant Ryusuke Naruto not guilty. We did it, guys. We did it. Guys, we did it. It's over. The game is over. That was a long game. That was a long game. The court is now adjourned. And here we are outside. It feels so familiar but so new at the same time. Oh yeah, somebody said, and I want to thank them for that. I didn't change it yet. But I think we can go into the menu now and change it right now, actually. So hold on, we're going to options. Gameplay. I think you can do text box and transparency high, off. I don't know, I think off might be actually fun. Wait time? Text skip on. Enable skip me real text in the main game. Escalates text. Okay. Cool. Okay. I think that's what we're looking for. Because at one point I was like, how do I skip text? And we were kind of looking for it. Okay, let's get the end of this trial. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, let's kiss. Yes. I thought you'd never ask. You finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank God, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large Sukiyaki from the place on the University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Oh, is it him? Oh, it's her.
Congratulations to the both of you for proving Naruto-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Oh, thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report, Miss Bretz, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be from my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikutaba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikutaba...
Oh, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruto, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you after all. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before.
It was you that actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikutaba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson.
Exactly. In those days, we were working together on the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together? I never heard you mention that before.
It's actually kind of cool that like this is something that like he is so attached to too, as someone who like I guess Cosmo looks up to as well. Like we could do this for him. Well, it's a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asugai. The music's so good in this game. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. Really because it took so much from the world and now it leads the world. It kind of took advantage of a lot of buzzing worlds that had beautiful cultures, kind of like took over them and colonized them, and that's why it leads the world. It has so much time to make advances because, you know, it exploits the labor of their people. The poorest of the poor over there are actually in dire straits. Yes, the people who are higher ups are a lot better off, and the technology and all that stuff is getting better and better, but you see, they exploited people for so long. That's kind of how it is leading the world. It's crazy, but that's how it's doing it, you know, it's insane. Oh, wait, is that not in the text box? Oh, Jesus, I mean, it's great! It's fantastic! It's leading the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture... Culture! Culture? Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. Before anyone says anything to me, my country has literally only been independent, fully independent, governing itself for 80 years. So please do not be like, do. I can say what I want. My ancestors died, so I can say what I want. I swear on this, despite the Asugai clan. You're not taking the sword to Great Britain, are you? Do! Cut them down! I love my British friends, by the way. I have British friends, I have English friends, I have Scottish friends. I work with Scottish colleagues. I love people from Britain. I hope that doesn't come across like that. I think obviously most countries are kind of corrupt. But the people in them are just hardworking people trying to get by, as always. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. The blade shows him where I need to go.
And over there, they have football, and they kick the football around, and they fight about it afterwards.
It cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already, with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Jezzel Brett, I mean, after all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but she's probably, getting off scot-free. What do you mean? Sure, she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She's probably being sent home. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai. Shanghai? Shanghai? Jezebel will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? Why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. You see him just taking the flower pot and hiding it behind him, the vase. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. It was harder because you kept hiding evidence, my dude. But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? The British consular court will hear her case somewhere far away, where her voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now, that we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so as long as it's not a serious incident of highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't evoke a consular court like this. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. Someone spread can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. I mean, it kind of makes it like the story a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? It makes the whole through line between like the agreements between Britain and Japan also like more interesting. The Britain's government foreign affairs ministry has demanded that we hand over the custody of Miss Britt. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. Yeah, as they would. Especially during peace negotiations. But it's going to change from now on. We can make a change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. Yeah, and they keep mentioning this, and it's probably good that they do. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But, Professor... You're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We still won the trial, yeah? His nose changed very quickly there. We should be celebrating, Uranosuke. A not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might as well just Le Carnival. Ha 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 ha! He's so funny. As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with an ample food and drink. You're Detective Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Get that checked, buddy. Get that checked. Let's not worry about details for now. To Le Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. Le Carnival's food is second to none. I don't know if I'd like to eat. I had bad taste in my mouth. I got locked in a cupboard in here.
I should go and attend to the new paperwork and Naruto-san's release. Oh yes, thank you.
Making the 16-year-old do all the work. Great first trial. Really long, but great. So Jezebel Brett won this trial. Won't be tried here. It's crazy because if this first trial was around, Jesus, like 10 episodes long, even like for the full trial in terms of like Let's Play episodes. Like the other episodes are going to be very long. This was more than a week long of trials. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Rinosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? The defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference. Though one day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Oh, come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial.
But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry, what do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Rinosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon in that any lore needs in order to win? Both of us kissing? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to do the do with each other. To believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. Has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with a precious real experience, but you never stop believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually. Yes, I will. Yeah, sure. I don't think we can do it here, though. We'd probably have to find somewhere more discreet. Well, it's a favor. Yeah, sure. Something very important to me. Sure, I'll do it. Let's go. I mean, I might need to brush my teeth first. It's been a long day. Sounds serious. What is... you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. Okay, if you want to. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. They're such good buds, pals, roommates. Yes, that too. They're such great pals that they'd be like episode 3 of The Last of Us TV series, you know? So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikutaba. Suzato-san, who acted as my assistant for a second. Inspector Hosonaga, who freaking... Yeah! Yeah, I didn't play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. I'm ready for the favor. He can favor me all night. Oh my god, Calvin. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. I mean, it does. It's like a big experience for anybody their first time. And, okay. I think, for the last bit of the video, I might just give my thoughts. Defense debut, awesome. On the trial itself, before we go any further. Hope you guys don't mind. Okay. I think that the characters are really fun, really strong. I think that we got a good idea of all this, I don't want to look at this just yet. Oh god, no. But what I'll say is this. If I had one critique, it was probably too long. I think it was too long. And that's not necessarily always a bad thing, but I think if you're going to have a first trial, the reason why the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the original trilogy's first trials were so great is because they gave you this little taste of what the game was going to be like, and it kind of would make you want to play on. If I hadn't played the original Ace Attorney games and I played through this trial, and this trial was, 5 hours long, that in some cases is a small game in itself. You know what I mean? It's more than 5 hours long. It's more. It's about 5 hours and a half long. And again, I know I shouldn't be complaining about more game, but I feel like if this trial was 2 hours and a half, it would have been even better. I think that, like, you know, the twists and turns were great. I think that they had a lot of great character moments. I think that maybe, like, what I would have done is maybe, like, cut out, like, half of, like, the big reveals and whatever. But, like, but I really liked the characters. I really thought that they were really well written. I liked the funny moments. I think the judge is really great. I think that the duo of Kazuma and Ryunosuke is really fantastic. I like the writing. I love the music. I think there's so much to love about this game. I hope that doesn't come across as me just, like, hating on it for no reason. I just think the first trial was too long. The next trial is called The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. We're on a boat. No, we shouldn't look at this yet. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for watching this episode. We're going to continue on in the next one. Hopefully we'll get to do some investigations as well, because investigations can be very fun in the Ace Attorney games too. One thing that happens in these games a lot though as well is that it does take a lot of energy out of me, because it's a lot of talking. But regardless of that, I'm so appreciative of all of you. Thank you so much for the support so far, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.